I am of the pure mind of God. I am the resurrection and the life in my body, my finances, my relationships, and my world. I qualify everything in my world with perfection. I am perfection. I am this perfect day, and the life that lives in me is the light that cannot fail. I accept only God's perfection, His good, in my outer circumstances. I know in my heart that God is all in all. I am absolutely not concerned about what happens, because I know wonderful things are happening now. Hey. All right, let's do this. It's getting busy around here. It's not the quiet, usual walk that I'm used to. So, I know something really good's going to happen because there's been a lot of warfare going on around me. A lot of torment coming from the carnal mind. And it's okay. It's okay. So, let's take a few minutes here. Getting into flow state. There it is. You know, the easiest way to get into flow state is to disassociate from the world of effect altogether. It's strange because in a fleeting moment you can strip all the power out of it, send it back to the I am presence right within. The center of man is the I am presence, which is the allness of all creation. It's in the still point. You can give all of that power that this world has. One of the things that Lester Levinson said, he was brilliant. He said, you're always seeking approval, control, or safety. That's how you give all this power to this world. It's approval, control, or safety. Acronym is SAC, SAC. Holding on to the world's SAC. So, if you see what I just threw at you, then you'd let it go. Just let it go. And if you walk right where you are is the fullness of God. How loved and embraced are you? You are adored, and you are beyond safe. You are in the immutable protection of the Almighty. There is no other condition other than grace happening in your reality. Everything else is a dream, so you got to let it go. You got to let go of that sack. Stop holding that sack from the world. Safety, approval, and control. You tense up, you freeze, you go into fear when you are afraid for your own safety. You can't get from flow state you can't get to flow state from there. You're worried about a health condition, worried about a money problem, worried about something. They got you. They got you in reasoning. Sucked right in. Just fell asleep right in the dream right there. They got you on approval. See? Oh no, what are they going to think of me? When I walk by and they see me videotaping, what are they going to think of me? Oh, if I'm talking like this, what are they going to think of me? They're going to think I'm crazy. If they don't think you're crazy, you're screwed. Because that means you are bringing comfort to them, and familiarity brings comfort. If you're just like them, then you aren't in the kingdom. No, it's control. My biggest one. See, I got over safety. It was really a miracle when I got over safety. That was what the whole
fear of Lyme disease was. I had to get over the fear of not being safe. Then I got over approval a long time ago. I realized that they don't care about me. They care about themselves, their own sack that they're holding on to. They're worried about their own approval because they don't get any from themselves, because they can't approve of their condition of mortality because it's outside of reality. So it can't be approved of because it's not known to God. You get the little secrets I'm throwing at you? So the idea here is that I walked into this last chapter learning about letting go of control, the false sense of ego control. In other words, get up in the morning, crush your to-do list, do all this inertia and momentum and, just really go out and kill it, right? Well, part of me really likes and like being active and doing that sort of thing. But you have to also recognize that when you are pretending that you're doing something, the propensity for you to fall into safety or approval happens from that place. If you're in control, well, you're unintelligent compared to the allness of all creation. You don't know what's going on in London right now on some random street that's going on through some person's mind. You don't know what's happening 5 minutes from now. You don't know what happened 10 years ago that you thought you saw that never happened. You're living in a delusion of your own personal history, which is so jaded and so narrow in its focus. It's looking through the subjective filter of all of your past conditioning, which is false. And it's giving you, boom, bite-sized pieces of reality that you think are actually happening. And you want to control that? You want to control that. Of course you're not going to be safe in that realm. You're trying to control a creation that doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. God's mind never created discord or strife or suffering or human mortals, for that fact. How can you be the Son of God and be immortal? God created an idiot? God created something that's perishable? Well, then that makes God an idiot and God perishable, because like Father, like Son. Well, then you better start worshiping a better God. You better get you a new God. You better find you a new daddy, one that doesn't die, one that doesn't create lashings on you for stepping into your own goodness. You better see that as a false dream. And therefore you'll recognize that the safety that you are in can't be compromised by any external force. Because anything that would try to come against that would quickly dissolve into its own nothingness, where it came from, through the eyes of pure awareness, which you can behold right now by having a better version of your God. If your God wishes sickness upon people, if your God is counting the rights and wrongs that you're doing, you have a horrible, terrible, human-like God that is full of anger and rage. You're Old Testament. You're about as far Old Testament as it gets. You're in the Mosaic law to the nth degree. And I'm not talking about grace reaching you. I'm talking about condemnation. That God is Satan. That God is the left side of the Bible, the left side of the brain. That God is the pre-you in the kingdom. That God is a dream. Genesis 1 is the only account of the true creation. Perfection in the kingdom. Created works are complete and done. That's it. End of story. Bible done. It's over. No, you can't leave it alone, though. You can't leave it alone. You couldn't stop there if you tried. You came up with this lie that said you got to come through a human condition to get back to your perfection. Bridge is going up. Since the bridge is going up, going back down. Did you have to come into a human condition to get to perfection? Is that even possible? Can you start from corruption and get to perfection? No, you can't. But you keep going back to that same story like a fly on crap. You just keep going right back to it, right back to it, right back to it. This is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. This is what my family did to me. This is what my ex did to me. Look at me. This is why I'm this way. You keep going back to it over and over and over and over and over again. Because you can't contain the pure consciousness that God is. Yet. Because your heart still longs for the things of this world. And as long as you long for the things of this world, you fall into the safety, approval, and control, wanting, seeking, lacking for good, which creates poverty. Poverty is wanting what you don't have. Well, isn't that the case of everybody who's in poverty? Don't they want for something they don't have? Whether it's food, shelter, romance, cars, money. They want. It's the state of want. It's the being in a state of poverty is to be condemning yourself. Because you behold a creation that never happened. And reinforce it with a story that is outside of God's existence. Because it's laced with trouble. It's laced with disharmony. And it's laced like a bad drug with all kinds of things that'll screw you up real bad. And you keep giving lip service to it. Abracadabra. Here's my problem. Here's why I'm screwed up. Here's why nobody loves me. And you keep living from that delusional sense of carnality as if you're going to get out of it by giving it one moment of your attention. So flow state will happen when you suck all the power out of that whole dream and give it back to the I am presence. There is no good in this world. There is no evil in this world. All qualities belong to God, and there are no persons either. Because those persons are carnal, and they're mortal, and they're corruptible, and nothing that God created could ever be such a thing. Otherwise, that would make a false God. And you don't have that God, and you certainly should not serve that God. Because that's not your God. That God is a damnation, curse, of human judgment that brought about ignorance, bigotry, persecution. All of those things come from the human mind. And the human mind in all of its dreams through the five senses never happened. So if you're walking along this pier and none of this ever happened, and I take all the good out of it, recognizing the only good I could behold came from the Father, I take all the evil out of it, recognizing that, well, it never existed in the first place, then my electricity flows back to the ground state, back to the still point. And I merge into the allness of one kingdom, one mind, one God. That means dominion. Think of some of the synonyms for God. Well, dominion, power, ruler, lawmaker, judge, creator. Think of those words that you can describe what this means. Well, these are the principles of activity that govern the entire creation. And what is God? It's another word for good. That's where it comes from. Good. the best attempt that you can use to describe good is beholding what you think is God. And so if it's not good, it's not of God. And if you think it's good, then it must be reflecting something that God is. And if it's good and it turns bad, that means it was never anything God created and you should let it go. Now, that part of if it is good and it turns bad, what am I talking about? I'm talking about addiction. I'm talking about the isms. I'm talking about the lusts of the flesh. That's why there is no good but the good God bestows. And now back full circle to this idea of control. See, seeking for control makes you out of control because of the state of poverty that it comes from, because it's from want and lack. Now, prosperity is gratitude for what you have already been given. That's really the secret to prosperity. Intense gratitude for what you've already been given, followed by appreciation and expectation for more. So, on the topic of control, that's the issue here. There's a lot of that going around. You know, governments think they're in control. You know, they want more control. They want all control. They want to control every time you have to take a dump. They want to control every word that you say. Censorship is to try to omit, the free speech, right? Okay, well, they want to control everything that you think. Do you know why that is? Because they're out of control. Because game over. Because consciousness no longer requires an external and false taskmaster. That's a tough word to say. Taskmaster. An evil tyrant. Taskmaster. Where does that government come from? It comes from the belief in carnal mindedness. And so what we have is we have the collective observation of those emanations. Hello. And then out of that collective, groupthink, if you will, the sheep congregating in the field, meh, meh. My sheep hear my voice. I remember Mike Murdoch saying that. My sheep hear my voice. See, when God begins calling his elect back home, back to the Father, the electricity goes back to the ground state. Who in their right mind would not listen to God? Exactly, right? In your right mind, you are one with God. Who in their right mind would do such a thing? Exactly. They weren't in their right mind. They were in their reasoning, logical, diabolical, Luciferian matrix, left brain, living from all the past data that they've gotten throughout their false history and gaining value from all of those discoveries. And the more they strengthen it, the further away they get from the truth. They get more into the 1,001 industries that live off the corruption. From a corrupted seed is a corrupted operating system. And how many of those windows do you need? It's almost like the inventor of such a thing must be corrupt by nature. And that mind is the scientific mind of this world. It is the observation, leaving the creator out of the creation, and trying to analyze things from a series of causes that never took place. The world of effect itself is not a cause, it's an illusion, it's nothing. It has no cause. See, what I'm telling you, the idea here is that you can't control something that has no cause. There's your breakthrough. I'm dancing around the topic just to give you the nugget. You can't control a thing that has no cause because there is no history attached to it. You see how that works? There's no beginning. It doesn't have a root. That's what it says in the Bible. Gospel of truth. I'm telling you the facts. It has no cause. So it has no cause. No causation. Well, how can you control something that has no causation? You simply can't. Your physical body has no causation. It never came into being because God didn't create anything corruptible. The human mind of carnality observes such a thing in a dream, and yet it never happened. 3,000 tyrants try to poison the planet and take down the whole infrastructure of freedom, but it never happened. Where did it come from? Well, it had to come from somewhere. Oh no, you jump in and you say, well, maybe, their moms just didn't love them right, and, they were abused when they were young, and now they're just evil, like in all the cartoons, and, they weren't loved, so now they're trying to get revenge on the population. That sounds like a good story. It's like in the movie Be Cool. Sid LaSalle, he's like, good story, Edie. The Russians. I'm a very educated man, he says. Now, what I'm telling you is like, in wisdom, I'm a very educated manifestation of God. So I'm telling you that it didn't happen. So I'm telling you that if you just take your attention away from all of it, because there is no cause. That's what breaks the spell. No cause. No cause. Oh, I feel horrible. No cause. They came again with another bill. No cause. Is it not true that in law you have to have cause? Don't you have to have the continuation of evidence, right, on a level playing field and have causation? Like, don't you have to have something to base your case upon? Nah. There's no cause. See, you can get to flow state when you just realize the password, no cause. I guess I'm not afraid of being safe anymore. I'm not afraid of getting approval or not. There's no cause. And certainly can't control anything because there's no cause in the world of effect. So how could I ever achieve anything? Well, you have to get back to the cause. There's only one cause. One causation comes into being, divine love. I turn to the Father, Spirit, and I say, you know what? Revealing your nature is what demonstrates the goodness in my life. Not my striving in my human self-seeking. No, there's no cause out there, so I turn away from it. And I just rest in your presence, Father, because in your presence is the allness of all that I could ever hope and dream for. Seek ye first the kingdom and all these things, and it shall be given to you. That means I already have it. That means that prosperity is something that I already have. More than I can even think of, literally. How do I unlock that treasure chest? And by the way, you should be getting in the class. I'm kind of like prompting you. This is all channeled, by the way. You think I sit around and come up with this? This is channeled. I'm in like another dimension, and you're talking to something that's not human. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Get into the class. You're going to learn a couple things. You're learning things right now. You go back to my last several hundred videos, and you'll see the progression all the way through to now from 2018 up. What you're going to see is you're going to see less personality and more spirit. And when spirit shows up, there is a cause. And now you have power. And when I am one with the cause of divine love itself, and I am forever grateful for my needs have already been met, out of that joyful and loving heart come the abundance of all the things I seek. Because out of the heart come the issues of life. And now there is a cause. So how can I say there is a cause now? Because a joyful, grateful heart is reflecting what the Lord is. Oh, you mean I'm not drunk in the world of five senses anymore? Correct. I'm in the now space, venue, reflecting a quality of God that is eternal and celebrating that fact. And now there's a cause. Now there's power. Now my world yields and bends because now it's sitting at the feet of the Master. The light is within. Very few would ever care to understand this, and that's fine. I was listening to a talk by Herb Fitch, and he said that if you can find 10 people to listen to you when you're walking in this consciousness, you should be grateful. I think I got 10, and I am grateful. Not because I got people listening. Oh no, I don't do this for you. You're not even there. I do this because it is all there is. Because I'm committed to being at cause in my life. I'm committed to seeing the truth. So what I recommend is if you feel the Spirit move within you, you're going to get a moment. It's going to hit you. I don't know when. It could hit you like right now. It could have already happened. But when I say no cause, you're going to be walking through the stream any moment. And it's going to hit you. I'm trying to react to something that has no cause. Does that not make me born of this world? Because being born means originating from. Well, are you not responding? Are you the respondent? Are you a defendant in this case? Are you responding to something out there as if it has power over you? The light of all creation within? You are submitting yourself to something that has no cause? You can't handle the truth. Because there is no you. There's only the truth. And so don't try to handle it. Just get rid of the part of you that wants to find a cause out there. And you'll see the truth. Because you'll be looking straight at what is. All right, class starts on Sunday. I'll see you there. And remember, there's no cause. All right, well, I'm in the stairway of my my condo here, so let's go back to the beach. And let's talk about this no cause issue. All right, let's go right to the beach. What do you say? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, isn't this gorgeous? Let's just be honest. This is the Malibu of the Midwest. I live on the beach. I'm gonna take you to the beach. It's my time I get to spend, well, sort of, with you, through the screen. I'm with you in spirit, that's the thing. So I want to take you to enjoy this beauty with me. Maybe you're feeling alone in this world, and you should be. All one. All one. Alone. All one. There's only one living man, one manifestation, Christ, consciousness of truth, spirit. There are no people, there are no conditions. See, the beauty that we witness here is the reflection of God's beauty. Back of everything that's false, that the satanic mind looks at, the carnal human five senses, that's the mind of Lucifer. Looking at fleshly mortals, looking at statutes and objects and things that are material. No cause. That's why they call it the lawless one, because there's no cause. You have to have causation. You don't have a cause, you don't have any law to operate with. So, it's a lawless one. But see, look at this. Our friends are back, the seagulls. You see, my congregation is growing, and we could be in the several hundreds of proteges now. I educate whoever shows up. So, you think you want a romantic lover. What you want is intimacy with spirit. You think you found a romantic lover. What you found was intimacy with spirit. Therefore, if the fleshly person takes off, you didn't lose anything. There was no cause. The flesh person didn't come into being because you manifested it. Let's drop the law of attraction for mental midgets. Just let it go. If you can create out of a mind that has no cause, then you're deceived. But if you can reveal a mind that already has created all that is, and recognize its reflection as the truth, in other words, the beauty of this moment is divine love holding me, holding you in existence. Wonderfully and carefully made. Divine love is holding you in existence. And it just looks like seagulls flying, and it looks like the tide coming in. But spirit is forming itself, qualifying the illusion with its perfection, because I behold its perfection. And when I see something that doesn't resemble a quality of the Spirit, peace, love, joy, kindness, gentleness, meekness, love, faith, then I say there's no cause. And if I know the only cause are the qualities of the fruits of the Spirit, then I walk free. And I don't have to worry about safety, approval, or control, which create the state of want, which creates poverty in your life. Even if you have $10 million and you're in a state of want for more, you have poverty. Because it can easily be taken away from you. Easily. Because it's not there. Because back of it is something. If it is real, it is divine love's provision back of it. And if it's unreal, it's your own human efforts, ambitions, talents, and skill. That's why people of the faith tell you to tithe. They're letting you know that the unreal is not your supply. It's an act of obedience, it's honor, it's faith. And through that activation of that sowing in the winter season where there is no cause, in the realm of effect, it brings into the summer season, the realm of the spirit, because of expectation, a drawing force within you that allows you to pull in the substance. And wouldn't you call that the law of attraction if it allows you to pull in? Like a reflection in the mirror is pulled in to the observer. There's nothing but God here. The Christ message is that God is all and God is love. Hence the PTT that I did during the whole illusion of all the ridiculous, upside down, non-intelligent ones, allegedly, in the dream. I said, God is the only thing happening here. Good is the only cause. Love is all there is that fills this space right now. And I just kept holding on to it and holding on to it. I refused to get shaken out. Anybody who knows crypto knows what getting shaken out feels like. Well, I refuse to let you shake me out of God. Because you have no cause. You can come against me with anything you want. You know, you tried with Lyme disease, carnal mind. Once I realized there was no cause, I stopped fearing death. Once I began tithing, I stopped fearing the death of finances. What do those two things have in common? Fearing death. Well, you know, fear, confusion, lack of trust, division, and double-mindedness, those are the steps to sin. It's actually double-mindedness, then division. So division is when you look to the world and you see what the human five-sense carnal mind tells you is there. Mortality, materialism, corruption, here today, gone tomorrow, ephemeral, temporal, illusions, dust to dust, atom of the dream. That's the state of division. Fear is the false evidence appearing real from that state of division. It's actually true. It is an acronym. It's the false report of another power that they call evil, which is a lack of good. The idea that something could interfere with God's creation. And I say no cause, and I break the bubble, and it just pops right out. My spirit just pops right out of the dream. No cause. So this is peace. The peace that the world has not. The world knows it not. The peace that the world knows is temporal. It only comes when they're feeling rich today and not when they're feeling poor tomorrow. Because they think there's power in something of this world. And therefore, if they lose it, they lack. And because of the dielectric nature of all that doesn't exist in the realm of the superimposed, let's just use that word. It's a superimposed state of ignorance. Like it's trying to block out the sun. Like it's a cloud coming before you like this. This is real this time. God's gone. Can't see his face, can you? It's a lie. And you just walk right through the cloud. You just walk right through it. Don't let go of your peace. If it says it's going to kill you tomorrow, you just walk right through it and recognize that life doesn't die. The only thing that dies is already dead. Therefore, it never lives. So what have you got to lose? Nothing. The entire realm out there is nothing. There's no cause. So fearing it means to lose your peg, to get troubled in your spirit. Troubled. in your heart. Because you want for safety, you want approval, you want control. And it's the want itself that is the proof that you've been depegged. You've lost your stability. Just enjoy this. Enjoy this with me. This is beautiful. I love this. I'm listening to the silence. I'm radiating love in my heart to the stillness within me, not the world. One day this will all be over. It'll all come to an end. And so the question is, did it ever begin? Well, doesn't the Father have no beginning and no ending? I'll stay rooted in that space. Join me there.